Hello, everybody. My name is Ntebzengwejana and I'm a spiritual medium. Thank you for coming back if you are returning. And I just need to apologize that I've been away for such a long time because I just got taken into the real healing. So it was the beginning of the year and everybody wants that spiritual alignment, right? It's because I'm going to speak about a spiritual assignment, so I'm just getting my words crossed today. Now, if you are new, welcome. Just so that you understand what I normally deal with. I normally deal with principles of the spirit. I normally try to make spiritual world sound okay enough, because it's a very, very vast world. It's an entire community here in spirituality, and sometimes people get lost in the jargon. Sometimes people get too much information and do not know what is it that they should be taking. So my whole intention is really just to try to make spirit livable and spirit okay, spirit for normal people. Yes. um and I hope that you do find something useful here, and if you do, then just subscribe. And for my old people who have been here, my family who have been here, thank you for always loving and supporting me. Thank you for your feedback. Um, yes, I see you. I see you doing stuff there on WhatsApp. You see me too. So I quickly want us to talk about prescriptions today. The taelo. Now, spiritual prescriptions, why do they come about? And I want us to specifically talk about this one because I normally have people saying, Ntabi, why me? Why is it happening to me? Why are ancestors saying I must do stuff? And the greatest concern that people have is that if I start to do a prescription, uh, am I going to now be compelled all the time to forever have a prescription done in order for me to get to the next step, right? So I wanted to just dispel certain myths and scare those who get scared and assure those who want assurance. So depending on how you consume the information and what you do with it, that is what really matters. Now, a prescription is the same thing that the doctor would assess you, check your BP, check your tonsils, check your eyes, check everything else, check the symptoms, and see what is going on with you. And after that, he then, based on his knowledge of medicine, knows what could possibly be wrong with you, and he would know what to prescribe for you, you know, priorly written, to give you a script, priorly written, prescribed, so that you can then go and give it to somebody so that they give you medication, right? Or sometimes the doctor would prescribe that you go exercise, that you go drink more water, that you leave sugar, you do certain things, because his knowledge of what he studies then says to him, this is the course of treatment. So your prescription is really that, your course of treatment. And I want you to keep that in mind as we get into this discussion. So, for a healer, from a healer's point of view, your prescription, normally the healer would be shown your problem, would be shown the origin of your problem, how and where your problem started, right? And you would also be shown the extent of the problem and the intensity of the problem. Because sometimes a person can know I have a problem, but not necessarily grasp how serious the problem is. And sometimes the person would be thinking, oh my God, I have a problem. I will never get out of it. It is too big. And they're just unable to move forward. So now, as a healer and as somebody that does the spiritual assessment of a person's climate, you are then be able to be given information to say, this thing is it's going to get solved and this is how it will get solved, right? So it is about the how that we are talking about today. When you are seeing problems, you are then going to be shown solutions. And those solutions, sometimes they require the healer to assist you with it. Sometimes it is just something that you can do with your family. Sometimes it's something that you can do as an individual. Sometimes it's a thing that can happen over time in order for us to fix it, right? But at all times, the healer that is being given a prescription, it is that healer is also been given some sort of a radar. A radar? Is it a radar or a radar? It's given depending on which English you use. So let's rather just say a radar, because I just like it, You have your data and your data and your radar. So you are then given a sensor, sort of, to say that person is doing that ritual. That person hasn't done that ritual. That person needs to be amplified on that ritual. That person, you also as a healer need to carry them through, either with prayer, or something will then happen to you to say, keep, keep count, almost assess. There's something in you that would say, hey, John is doing that ritual in Tabi. Please pray for John at this present juncture that John is dealing with, whatever issue that John might be dealing with. So as I give you that prescription, I am also given another system of monitoring. Yes, simplified, much better. Yes. Now, sometimes you would tell an individual to say, please go and do this prescription, and they don't do it. And they come back 2 weeks later, 2 months later, with the same problem. And they're saying, Ntabi, since I spoke to you, things have not changed. Where did we last leave each other? What were you supposed to do? And a person would say, I was supposed to do A, B, C, and Z. Did you do it? Nah. Why? I just felt, hey, it's too much. So I normally say a prescription is like somebody that comes with the flu. The doctor gives you antibiotics for you to be well wherever you are going to go. They say drink the course and finish the course for 5 days. And then you come back next week, you're saying, still block nose, everything has not changed. And the doctor will be asking, did you finish the course? Because the first thing he's going to then be interrogating is looking back at the file and saying, what did I give this person and why is this medication not working? So to find that a client has not, or a patient has not drunk the medication, and to find that the client has not executed the prescription or taelo or the ritual, then it becomes very difficult. So you can't come back with the same symptoms, same problems if you were given a script and you did not execute. Let's talk about the kinds of prescriptions. There are other prescriptions, right, that will come out of a reading in order to make you understand how your forefathers did things, how they were sending out the libations, how they were praying to God, how they were paying homage to their own ancestors. And you would find that a person is having problems because they just do not have a clue on what used to be a contacting point between the spiritual world and their people. And then you would get you would get ancestors saying through a reading, your people used the Bible, they used water, and they used a candle in order for them to connect. And that becomes an information that is then passed down to you. Most people would say that is a thing, it's a tool. Remember, I normally talk to you about connecting tools. It's a tool that people use, or most prophets use, right? When I was getting trained into this African spirituality, I used to get trained with water, candle, and a Bible. Most of you know that I would give you that prescription when I'm sensing that you have a gift of a seporofeto, yasemoya. Even though I normally tell you these gifts are all the same, it's just all about how you execute them. But asikolapo, today we are here. Now, other people would be told your people are people of salt, more raw, just salt. Ne? And then you would find you, because you don't know this information about your own people, you find a very sophisticated healer. They are coming there with their entire bag of muti in order for them to come and fortify your home. Or tamots, to fortify your home. They come there to fortify home with their bag full of muti and asanal, an entire chemist. They are there to appease your own ancestors, and ancestors look at them and go like, what's in the bag, dude? What you got in the bag? You find that they never used muti. They don't know anything about muti. But what was their connecting point? Salt. And sometimes people would look at you like, Ntabi, I pay a lot of money to speak to you and you tell me about salt. It's about the connecting point. This is what your own people used. This is what your own people recognize as this. We are, this is our medium of doing things. This is our channel of doing things. And if you don't know that you can do very magical things with salt, because that is taelo feeling yona, then you are just going to go astray. And you're finding people who but who fisa dilo di a lenkgela for impact, yeah, things that, yeah, you thinking, yeah, no, this thing smells like it's healing. But if your ancestors don't support it, then you are as good as not having done anything. It's important to understand what your own people used as points of connection to the spirit. There are other people who a prescription would change given where they are going, because some people have a lot of enemies and you need to go through many things. Now, there are certain people who come here and they have been so spiritually manipulated. That's my term of saying bewitched. You're spiritually manipulated. Because you just can't say a person is bewitched. It sounds not nice. Yeah. Well, it just how then a person has no hope. But when you're saying a person has been spiritually manipulated, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Space are called space. We are healing. If you need to heal, you need to call a problem for what it is. Call it by name. So there are certain people who have been bewitched, and a person who has bewitched them had said, if this person goes up a mountain, they must never find assistance. If they go down the river, they must never find assistance. If they go and find any muti, they must never find assistance. If they go to the deepest, darkest cave, they must never find assistance. And so, your ancestors need to find very crafty ways of healing you, of coming up with prescriptions that are not just out there, that are not for everybody. There are certain people that know, naked having, if I go to the mountains, my things are okay. There are certain people who have been bewitched to not say such a thing, you know. And so it is up to your ancestors, to show you certain prescriptions that are going to assist you. And sometimes they would say, wear a certain thing, go find a certain duke, go find a certain dust coat, go find a certain stick, go and do a certain thing. You would see them in your dreams. They would make you see them. So what do you then do? You have to go and buy those things, so that when your ancestors connect with you, they are able to use what they know works. Sometimes your ancestors would say, wear a certain thing in order for you to be hidden. Sometimes the the prescription would be, say, pray for you not to be seen. Pray for you not to be seen as you come through. And those are going to be your channel of prayers. Other people would be told to pray with candles. Other people would be told to a padla with snuff, a certain kind of snuff, not a black one, a menthol one, not a menthol one, a red one, not a red one, the old one, yale blara. Remember that one that used to be grinded, right? So it's important for you to listen to what your specific prescription is. Why is this an important issue to Ntabiseng Mojana right now? It is because you go into social media and you watch all of these things and you are part of groups and you start to do prescriptions, implement, execute prescriptions that are not meant for you, that your people look at and say, "Yenzani lengane? Hey, awusthola, wozala." They don't know what you are doing, right? So it's quite important to know why you are doing certain things. With that said, I also want you to understand that there are certain things in the spirit that are just meant to come out with a certain outcome. So not everything is necessarily wrong, right? Wrong, right? Yeah, you go, somebody directs you, people will give you direction and then you go straight and you turn left, right? Which one? I like I said, you turn left, right? Yes. So not everything is wrong. There are certain things that are just meant to, that are just there in the spirit to say, if I am using a coarse salt to cleanse off a certain energy, this coarse salt will cleanse off a certain energy. If I'm using pepper to amplify my connection, to make it stronger with my ancestors, it will work. Then there are certain other people who would say, not even in pepper, not even in pepper. So it's, you really need to know what will work for you, right? And then there are people who are going to be given prescriptions as to say, all you need to do is to go to your grandmother's house and just be there for a day and everything will be okay. People like that in my language, but ohata mavala. You just go and step into the yard that has a certain spiritual connection with you, and your things will roller, just rise. That is a very clear prescription. And so other people would just prefer that, can't I just go kukukwaka and go at the grave and speak to kukwaka? No. If that's not what the prescription says, then that's not what you can, that's what you will not do. That's, you can't do it, because now it is the same thing as you have a headache but you are then busy using an ointment salve, rub on your head with it. But drink the tablet, let the water come in, drink your vinegar and your, heal the headache, but you are using a completely different medication in order for you to heal something. There are obviously other cells that you can rub and then they get into your nerves and they heal a headache. But that's not where I'm going with this one. Let's focus. Let's focus, family. So, when your prescription says you must go to somebody's place and do a certain thing, do that. When the prescription says go to somebody's grave and go speak to a deceased family member, do that. Don't try to say, hey, Mara, if I connect with the people in this way, it will work. It will not work. Certain prescriptions are repetitive, meaning that whenever your things get stuck, you know this is what I need to do. Now, prescriptions such as going to an ant hill, right? Solo. Some people call it, I don't know what you call it, but I call it an ant hill. When you go out there into the field, you will find a pyramid, a soil made, a pyramid made of soil, and it would have been nicely constructed there by ants. Solo. Ne? People normally tell it to me in their languages, but dololo memory retention of other languages. Ooh. So an understanding of why we would give you a prescription to go solo is so that when you are given a task and you need all sets of ancestors to come through and you do not know where to locate them, people like my father did not raise me, I don't know, I was adopted, there are many dynamics that we have, that we all go through in order to be the people that we are. So when you can't locate certain family members but then the prescription says go habu papa, and you don't know habu papa ke guy, or a certain great grandfather from somewhere who died in the farms. They love coming through, especially these ones that died at the farms, where we can't locate them. They would come through and say, I need to find my place. I need to find my people. Let them come to me. Then Sulu works. The molehill works. Go find one that is close at the top. Don't do one that is open, because the one that is open is used by people that spiritually manipulate to bewitch other people, to make their things ukuthi zicithe. Yabona ke tsa dicetho tseo ba nyakalotsa abantu ba diphatlalla, and they would go and do such. So when they give you your solo, or even when you do not know, but some locator papa and awizuru papa okukai, or you call papa, papa, they're saying you need to do a certain ritual for me. Your ancestors don't know me. You and mama did not do things correctly and accurately, so papa help. And papa says, child, ne, I have my own family. What is my wife going to say? Oh child, I get it saying, oh child, you are not even my child. There are many things that people would do and say. Then Otlakansa badimo ko solong. The understanding of it is that from all four corners, wherever you are, whether I know you or I don't, I just want you to all come and combine, and let's have a covenant. All the associated surnames that are associated with who I am, let's come and have a covenant. And that is why you would have a prescription, your soul. And whenever your things get tricky in life, you should go back to that. I normally just say very sweepingly, if I drop dead tomorrow and you don't find me, you must know this is what will work for you. There are other people who there are things only get to be moved to the next step when they go to the river, when they send out their libations in the river. Now, people whose surnames did not combine, or whose parents did not get married, normally your river, your solo, you're going to pray at the mountain, they would shift things for you. Why do we pray at the mountain? Because it is the highest point. It is the highest element where your prayers can be heard. If we are working on the principle, there's heaven, right? Let's get to be in the understanding, there is heaven. I don't know if there's heaven. Perhaps there isn't, we don't know. But we use it to make sure that we want to sit on top of a particular situation. Then we go to the mountain, right? There's a lot to say around this issue, but I'm being very cognizant of time, and I also need you to go and process this information. Some people, their prescription is just as easy as go pray the candles. Some people, their prescription is just as easy as go buy a blanket for your grandmother, and things would be okay. So prescriptions work in different ways. One, there could be acknowledgement. Go to your family, go to your father's family, go to your mother's family, and go and revitalize your relationship with them. Acknowledgement. We want to see that our grandchild or our child still acknowledges us. Acknowledgement. Two, it could be for protection, right? Go into natural environments and go do your things there, because sometimes your own place where you live in, it is too dangerous for you to thrive, and therefore go out there. Three, I don't know where my people are, and I don't know where to locate them, and therefore I would go solo. Solo, lame, a very old tree that no longer has leaves and branches. They pretty much work the same, especially if you want to combine your ancestors, right? Now, what other things are there? Repetitive rituals. Repetitive rituals would be pray with a candle, and what at this time do this thing. These are things that you can keep on doing on a or on a daily basis. Yeah, right. I almost said on a quotidian basis. On a daily basis. Let me speak normal English. You know, sometimes my unionist part just comes out. You know, unionists and comrades just speak English that is unnecessary during the day. You know, yeah, no, you must drink these 2 tablets on a quotidian basis, on a daily basis. So, these are things that you can do all the time, like your candles, where you do, use your bath salt, use your lemon and salt. Lemon and salt is a new thing I discovered. It works magic. Lemon and salt, you put it in your bath water and you just soak. Come, it's a nice fresh way of doing the rituals without the other things of muti. There's nothing wrong with muti. Muti works. Muti works. All these prescriptions, including muti, right? We use muti, we use everything. All of these prescriptions do not work unless there is prayer, unless there is affirmation, unless there is a verbal instruction for it to do what it needs to do. So it is quite important for you to kneel down and pray. Even when some people that have healed me, doctors that have healed me, even when they're writing their own prescriptions, you will see that these people are just saying a prayer because, woo, Ntabi, you need to rise from this condition that you are in or that you have, right? So prayer is important. If you go ahead and you start giving people muti without praying for it, then you are just as good as just taking out plants from the ground. You are just giving them roses and daisies, and you say, this daisy will heal you, it will bring peace and it'll bring you good things. So prayer is important. All things are getting, you must get to carry them through with prayer. Whenever you do any ritual, you speak your word and you send it so that it knows what to go and do. Otherwise, it is just a thing that you just do nje because it's cut. Thank you for coming through. I talk too much. I really try. People are complaining that, oh, Tabi, your things are like 27 minutes long. Please keep them to 15. It's my first day. I try. I try. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for your love. Let's keep on praying. We are all for spiritual alignment and prosperity, right? Don't be spiritually gifted and remain poor. Don't be spiritually inclined and remain poor. Prosper.